Maritime Radar, brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council.
Hello, and it's good to have you join us again on Maritime Radar. The federal government of Nigeria, in a bid to increasing efficiencies, improving transparency, and adding value to the economy, enacted into law on the 30th of April 2007, the Council for Freight Forwarding in Nigeria. The Council is charged with the responsibility of regulating and controlling the practice of freight forwarding in Nigeria and promoting the highest standards of competence, practice, and conduct among members of the profession, with the vision of becoming Nigeria's leading transport player committed to the development of a modern, globally competitive freight forwarding system in Nigeria. The Council is dedicated to achieving sustainable economic development in Nigeria through responsible transport initiatives in freight forwarding development and management. The role Council for Regulation of Freight Forwarders has to play in repositioning Nigeria's freight forwarding subsector to ensure its growth through professionalism and competitiveness are some of the issues that will be on the front burner on today's show. I am Norma Obiaswala. Trade agreements hold immense potential. They also present challenges for Nigerian freight forwarders, which includes complying with varied rules of origin, documentation requirements, and product standards across trade blocks. This can become complex and time-consuming. Freight forwarders must stay informed and up-to-date on the ever-changing trade regulations within these agreements to provide efficient logistics solutions to their clients. Moreover, trade agreements can influence cargo flows and demand patterns, affecting the choice of transportation routes and logistics strategies. Understanding these shifts and adapting to the changing trade dynamics is vital for freight forwarders to maintain a competitive edge. Before we get further into today's lineup on the show, let's find out the latest in maritime news.
The 2025 Day of the Seafarer celebration was a historic one this year, as Nigeria's Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola, launched a landmark digital platform aimed at transforming maritime labor administration in the country. The event, which drew key players from government, industry, and labor unions, was a call for dignity, safety, and respect for seafarers across global shipping routes. In his keynote address, Oyetola paid tribute to Nigerian seafarers, describing them as the courageous engine powering the maritime sector, adding that this year's theme underscores shared duty to ensure every vessel is a safe and respectful workplace. Reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to seafarer welfare, Oyetola unveiled an ambitious reform agenda focused on training, global competitiveness, and digital innovation. He also highlighted ongoing investments in welfare policies, including stricter regulation of recruitment agencies, enhanced access to decent jobs, and expanded collaboration with ship owners to improve onboard safety. A key highlight of the event was the official launch of the NIMASA Maritime Labour e-platform, a digital hub designed to enhance transparency and streamline maritime labour administration. The Day of the Seafarer celebration served not only as a recognition of the crucial role played by Nigerian seafarers in global trade, but also a renewed national pledge to uphold their rights, safety, and welfare in a rapidly evolving maritime world. The issues of critical safety operations and policy issues affecting ferry transport systems in Africa took center stage as regional policymakers, ferry operators, regulatory agencies, community stakeholders, and international partners met in Lagos for a conference with a focus on charting safer waters across the continent. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, said that the conference was timely and essential in a state with over 25 million residents, and the need for a robust ferry transportation system for urban mobility, tourism, and economic connectivity is undeniable, recognizing that ferry safety transcends local boundaries.
With about 1/3 of our landmass covered by water, our waterways are not just a feature of geography, but a lifeline for millions of our commuters. Our ferry network connects communities, facilitates commerce, and provide an efficient alternative to our increasing congested road network.
The organizers spoke on the need to promote the role of ferry transport in Africa's blue economy, the impact of the conference, and how they intend to implement resolutions.
One of the mandates of the Maritime Organization of West and Central Africa is to ensure the safety of our waterways for the member states. We decided to partner with LASWA and the Lagos State Government Ministry of Transport and the government of Lagos State, basically to bring attention to the important work that Lagos State Government is doing as far as inland waterways is concerned, and draw attention of other states where ferry accidents are very rampant in Nigeria, to say, come and learn global best practices so that we can reduce these accidents that happen in our waterways.
What has motivated this is the need for a safer waterways, generally because it's now becoming a more dominant mode of transportation in Lagos State. Dare say even we need to even expand that to Nigeria. So, the key to be able to ensuring that we can enhance our safety measures was to benchmark. One benchmark across Africa, but most importantly benchmark even beyond Africa to, outside Africa.
It's not realistic to think that we're going to walk out of this room and things are going to change overnight. It's going to take some time, it's going to take a commitment and leadership, and it's going to take commitment from people at the top of organizations to say that we're changing our attitudes, values, and beliefs, so safety is the most important thing that we do.
The conference featured discussions on policy harmonization and regional frameworks for ferry operations, how to enhance technical and design standards for ferry infrastructure, integrating ferry transport into broader urban and regional mobility systems, and the need to leverage innovation and data for safer waterways. Stakeholders hope to see the implementation of the conference's resolutions so that the industry can live up to expectations.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Radar. The role of a freight forwarder, also known as a non-vessel operating common carrier in the maritime industry, cannot be overemphasized. Their key job is to organize shipments for individuals, corporations, get goods from the manufacturer or producer to a market, customer, or the final point of distribution. International freight forwarders have additional expertise in preparing, processing, customs, and other documentation in addition to performing activities pertaining to international shipments. This requires requisite training to enable freight forwarders to discharge their duties professionally. In this episode, we look at the first batch of training conducted by CRFFN in partnership with the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria (FAN) and its impact in driving the much awaited professionalism needed in the freight forwarding sector. Stay with us. Preparing and processing customs and other documentations essential for international shipments requires professionalism. The lack of this over the years has brought about increased quacks in Nigeria's seaports, airports, and the call on the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, CRFFN, to take up their mandate of training freight forwarders. With the appointment of the registrar, who is a practitioner, expectations were high on addressing this skill gap. The CRFFN boss obviously understood this assignment, and finally the much-awaited training kick-started this week with 300 participants taking the opportunity to becoming air and logistics certified professionals. The registrar and CEO of CRFFN, Kingsley Igwe, speaks on the agency's capacity-building mandate, his goal of professionalizing the freight forwarding industry, and his collaborations with sister agencies to ensure that non-professionals fizzle out to address corruption, market environment in our ports, and improve Nigeria's performance index in logistics through these trainings.
This training became very much important because it's been long awaited for from the issues in the industry. Largely enough, the knowledge gap that is missing. I'm a practitioner. I was a practitioner before I came into this office. So I have experienced it, I've seen it among the practitioners, those interfacing with government agencies in their daily business operations. You can see the inefficiency, the level of inefficiency in their services, the lack of professionalism in their services. And it has cost them, in monetary terms, a huge amount of money. Little mistakes, okay? Getting into penalties, payment for penalties, losing consignment of customers, you know what it means to begin to pay for them. Different kind of challenges, documentation problems and all of that. One of my key agenda to help them to gain the requisite knowledge, not just for them here, but for them to also be at par with their counterparts in other global arena, in the global arena. So basically, the training for today hovers around air cargo logistics. And that is why we are here in FAN. We have to collaborate with FAN. Let me also use this opportunity to thank them, the DG, the MD of FAN, who gave her consent and approval for this collaboration to happen. And also all the team in FAN, the training school, the GM, she has been very supportive for us to use this facility. And also the air cargo, the director, air cargo operations, and the rest of them, a whole lot of them that I can't mention. They've been very wonderful in helping us to succeed, to have this training done. And why it was so is because they became very worrisome about the problem the service providers give to them on a daily basis. The high level of inefficiency and unprofessional conduct, especially in delivering their services, which affects their own revenue and their own productivity as well. As a port, in a bigger scale, it affects the economy, okay, in that sector. We're trying to integrate the service providers in the FAN database and in the CRFFN database in order to have legitimate certified practitioners operate. No more business as usual. So that is why every practitioner here needs to undertake this training. It is compulsory, it is mandatory. Whoever that does not take this will not be captured in CRFFN database, and it will not be captured in FAN database. So this actually is aimed at achieving some level of sanity around the airport corridor, and also to ensure that the requisite competence is attained in service delivery when it comes to logistics around the air cargo operations. The importance of this training is because one of the measures considered by, I think, World Bank in their global logistic performance index of any country is the quality of logistic services that is obtained in any country. And the quality is determined or is a function of how proficient the service providers are, whether as a freight forwarder, as a haulage operator, as a custom broker, warehouse operator, or whatsoever. The quality matters. And that is why you can see the need for us to key into that to improve the Nigerian Logistic Performance Index in the global arena. In the next 2-3 years, we must have improved in that, because currently we are ranking about, I think, 98 as at the last survey.
For more than 5 decades, We have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Before the break, the CRFFN boss was talking about proficiency. He also spoke about professionalizing the freight forwarding industry.
We are trying to sanitize the system, to remove the touts from the ports, those who do not have any business around the airports, terminals, or the seaports terminals, so that the people who are providing the legitimate certified or licensed service providers will be the ones to assess the port terminals. Currently, what is there is, when you go into this port area, I wish maybe later on you can just take a walk, go around where they handle the cargoes and all of that, where the freight forwarders do the business. You will see it's like a marketplace. You don't even know who is who, okay? It's unorganized. But now, with this training, it will help us to capture the right people in the system. And with that, we are integrating our system with FAN. And FAN is going to issue biometrics to these people, which will now be used to issue access. So whoever does not follow this pathway definitely will find themselves out, because they will be classified among the unwanted ones around the terminals until they fulfill this process. So that is what the impact it will cause in the industry. Now, on the long run, you find out that by the time you go in there in the next 1 year or 2 years, it will not be as rowdy as it used to be now. It will be very serene, very clean, and responsible individuals will be there working, not people who do not have professional ethics to conduct business. So that is the advantage of this training. Then, on a larger scale, don't forget, this industry is not just a local service provider base. It's an international trade that most of them engage in, handling cross-border consignments, shipments, and the rest of them. So it's also going to improve the image, okay, largely enough, in the sense that if you look around, we have foreigners who are doing business around here, and required to do this business are the local service providers, the freight forwarders, who are Nigerians. The story has not been very, very palatable on the ear, hearing the complaints of these foreigners, not just foreigners alone, even our own citizens as well. So by this training, we want to achieve some level of professional ethics that will be administered, inculcated into these people when they are delivering their service. One of the components of the lessons is customer service. Customer service, most of them don't know it, in the importance of customer service in air cargo operations and all of that, and cargo handling as well. So basically, it's going to also improve the way and manner they conduct themselves and conduct their business. So it will attract, it will be an avenue to attract more investors and more investments into the country.
The Director of Enforcement and Regulation, training coordinators took turns to share the need for this training and its impact in the industry.
In this industry, or in our responsibility, the freight forwarders are the main key stakeholders. And so the government requires us to educate them, train them, so that they will be at par with their counterparts outside the shores of Africa. We expect a lot of changes, because positive changes for that matter, because after the lecture, when they must have gone through some of the regulations as it affects the industry, they will know what to do, and this will usher in a seamless operations. And again, there will be peace. It will usher in peace.
We've always had trainings in different aspects of freight forwarding and logistics across the nation. But this particular training is focused on airport operations, because previously we've handled mostly trainings in the seaports. So right now, what we are doing is for the airport operations. For this particular training, one of the challenges that we've had in not just this training, all our trainings, is proximity, which is why we are bringing it close to their area of operations, which is the airport access. That's why we're having it here at FAN Training School. I'm referring to the freight forwarders and logistics. As we all know, freight forwarding is an aspect of logistics. If you are conducting freight forwarding, you are carrying out logistics services. So what we are doing here is to provide basic training. We are taking them back to the classroom. So this is supposed to serve as a refresher program for them to understand the basic documentation, the regulatory compliance, and also the air cargo handling, how to improve in handling their air cargo operations, and also the fundamentals, the basic fundamentals of air cargo operations.
The training of today is a long-awaited event. We have been looking forward to it, and thank God it has happened today. So we are happy that it has happened, and we have the participants coming from all sectors. Freight forwarding is more of logistics than any other thing. And we can see that there is the scope is expanded. It gives us better ideas of the things that are handled in freight forwarding. And logistics covers a whole lot of it. So we are happy that that event has taken place today. I'm also happy that this is happening in my own time. This is happening when I am a core participant in the coordination and the implementation of the program. The impact to the industry is that it's going to open up CRFFN to better opportunities, because we look at it that logistics is more embraced than others. We looked at the fact that we've only been limited to, the airport workers, the freight forwarders, the tout and the rest. But with the introduction of the logistics aspect into it, which takes a whole lot, so we see that our scope has really been expanded. So we now know that we can even, the dispatch person going about his business is part of our stakeholder. We also get to know that even those that are doing some, personal businesses of deliveries, they fall under our purview. So that gives us a bit of much expansion further for us to cover. And this is going to bring in more revenue that we have since been starved of, that we have since been denied. So it's a thing of joy.
Curious because of the revelations made during this interview took us on a tour to the Pilgrims and Cargo Terminal. Arriving here showed an influx of people, and for a moment, I thought this was Oshodi Market in Lagos, Nigeria. Sadly, 90% of those who are found here have no business at this terminal. This huge number of people only encourage corruption and all shades of illegal businesses, further speaking to the need to professionalize the freight forwarding industry. Capturing the training sessions showed zeal and commitment by participants. Interaction with the resource persons was also cordial. We spoke to a few of them who shared their experience and the impact this training will have on their business and the industry at large, ending the first day of the training.
People you see in operations, most of them are the people that actually need some of these trainings, because it cut across all stratas of our business, where from documentation to packaging to handling and to freighting and all the rest of it. So it's something that needs to be done, And I also know that everything of value carries a cost. If there's no cost, then you may not even appreciate even if it has a value. You may not appreciate it. So talking about probably wanting to do such a thing next time, sure, there must be a cost attached to it so that people know the value of what they are getting.
I'm glad I came for the training. The truth is, the training is long overdue. It's been a while that we've had such training in the industry, and the truth is the industry is evolving, global trade is evolving, and we can't afford to be static. So the training is very timely and long overdue, and the impact is quite massive. They've brought to bear the facilitators, the trends, things that we need in the industry, and I suppose there's always a difference with being in operation and viewing it from the researcher's point of view. So it's really, really needed. And of course, if it was a paid event, I'll still be here because it's there's no knowledge that you gain anywhere that is a waste. And of course, you will put it back because you're in operation, and you certainly need you need the knowledge. And again, it's also important you know why you do the things you do. Sometimes you could be doing something in operation and you do not even have background knowledge of why you do that. So this training is really very important.
You can give what you don't have. And that's exactly what I see in this training, because a lot of times when you discuss intellectually with your conceptual skill on what you know, it convinces a supplier, your client, to know that exactly they are comfortable with you. And besides, it gives confidence to even after that. When you're into international business, they know that, definitely what they're doing, I'm dealing with the right person. Because if you have take for instance like area of dangerous goods. Dangerous goods is not something everybody can just handle. And when you are discussing with your client over there or your partner over there, and they know that you have a full knowledge of the dangerous goods, to be comfortable for you to handle it.
The second day brought same vigor as participants arrived, went through the accreditation, and the senior special advisor to President Bola Tinubu and the technical advisor to the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, Professor Busayo Fakilede, was on ground. He took time to tour the classes and address participants.
It is important that we continue to train, we continue to evolve, we continue to engage, we continue to improve, and the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is eagerly awaiting to receive all your concerns and discuss it with you and find solutions.
Stakeholders look forward to more of these trainings at the basic, advanced, and executive levels, which is expected to sanitize the freight forwarding industry. And that's our show this week. Stakeholders look forward to the impact of this training in repositioning the freight forwarding industry. Every week, join us on Maritime Radar as we explore how Africa can make a difference in ensuring the development of the maritime sector. You can also explore the latest in maritime news and industry insights right here. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Many thanks for your time, and see you again next week.
Maritime Radar, brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council.